mba fulale ko la barka bake albenna programme wol no makanyame. Of course nyimu program kutol mi alon ko nga nati ale nyinem ala force. Of course am episode mi alon ko babekela a joint broadcast leti between the Gagigo News Network and Think Point podcast. Abetara live nyindula fulol betole natara albala YouTube albala YouTube odo alba jela jele barnal be interfona na YouTube odo jang of course alba jela le abetara nying dula flul betole woto be mol danila men. This is a new program be karla kanale every Saturday be karla nyim program o nati la lenne pour nale kacha fengo fe bialon ka be dending Gambia kodo kulaten nga mol nati mi alon ko bota nyim major political party to of course a political party ul mi alon ko le warta wala alliance ul mi alon ko wale warta wala nga mol nati of course nga Yusuf Tunkara sotole Yusuf Tunkara bota damen walem di National People's Party ti NPP Yusuf Tunkara bota woldo of course itolem lebe mansa yala science and intending alialo ne NPP lebe mansa kunda so wala tinna ngetol fanang nati nyim program moto bari nga Ibrahim Dampha fanan soto janne Ibrahim Dampha bota damen walem unity some political party leti bari saying ebe alliance la alial nam party jamal science wala be unite ngate fanan sotne be Lamin Manneh soto la le mi alon ko atebe damen walem United Democratic Party ti fanan ba soto la le so ko nga fo nyamen is a new program kutolem nyindi every Saturday abe karla kanale talangoro Gambia watola. So talangoro Gambia wato atol ba jibelale ato itebe banko min to abe kela time jumalati so program o nyimbina wala every Saturday and it is a joint broadcast on I think of course Aliou ila fenko bare mi Aliou dundila la Think Point podcast altala YouTube channel o fanam follow spil ba jibe kanje sainteng ala YouTube channel o follow Think Point podcast abe tarra jele abe tarra on the Gagigo News Network fanam abe tarra na YouTube na Facebook fanam na Facebook page is Gagigo News Network Aliou Job la Facebook we have Buba Gagigo-Journalist lebije but is a joy for nyame nyimpenne but Aliou lebe kala na co-hosting nyim program to mbabala le animo le jo konton jandimbe dunna program kon.
Hi everybody, ala barka bake jibe rani loma lal banko kan anim banko e bandala surtout mol mi al noko wala ka politiko noma Gambia banko kan anim banko e bandala akata nya kondan kubari pour kaje ko kanyum programme o damuda damudo mi alon ko mba jibe rokira politiko la arena la barin campaign o badami sai asuda da bake so akumada bake pour kaje kayum programme o samana ka politician samana surtout politician mi al noko e bota ni major political party ledo abol kono unite command demanding mo jamal jurdi war kawin sauver bodala na balni sajuro boni nyota ni temol ni na so kambala akumara baga pour kaje ko ka NPP samana mialo ko an bi ila pharmacy banko kan ya tandi jele across all the surveys and everything ko ital they still remain as the biggest political party in the country and in the Democratic Party as well wol fana mo molde mialo ko ni fana be sotala jana pour kaje ko ni kacha kula mialo ka bade nim political mba political scientist also jane mba professor sotala jane mialo ko ni bakajala as we go into politics abakar o nyamala na tentu na jayi bake pour kaje ko albam feñi temoni na surtout mol mi yal nako wala ba YouTube la fanala and in Facebook wala fanala ko buba ya fanyami. It's a joint broadcasting right now. A lot of people are watching across all the platforms. Akrenya kondan kubari. Anuna guest fana meten lambe jayla fok kanana ka 1 hour spent with us here pour kaje ko niye kacha kula mi alno ka ba dening banku do kola. So buba akrenya kondan kubari to have this session with you.
Thank you so much ko nga fo nyame ning Aliou Job lebe denna program wala be kila mi alonko abe tarra of course Think Point podcast and Gagigo News Network letima political Gambia NPP led coalition UP led coalition led coalition be wol ngetol bele soto jang wala na al nyabe Ibrahim Dampha la mialon ko abota unite al nyabe Yusuf Tunkara la mialon ko abota NPP le Lamin Manneh be tarrajanne am short Lamin Manneh yalon boss balem say ya political party wala be launch kan Gambia bi ako ya sindi nyatole andu ate abe siri nyatole bar nyato do mande abe joinale because ngamera nyanta fa nyanta diamu la jele bar VIP le nyim programme do so alba jele le nyato do mande nyim programme of course am bi be ko men kachala aliu abe keta of course am so me alon ko le Gambia participate ye sove surprise jamal le bijemi alon ko wolle keta nyin sove do walatin ba jibe ko milbe bije wala nanga party wol nata surtout mol mi alon ko wolle be nyaton kayare ni nata gambla election kana tenti nyato kayare because nga jele nyin sove nyin to NPP still now to le nyato nga jele ko UDP le noma bari unite fanang jump 90% so nyimu kuleti mi alon ko mo jamal of course surprise. So of course may follow la damen na walem the ruling National People's Party di Yusuf Tunkara Bijanne. Well Yusuf looking at molbe mil fokam nyindi ko sove nyin ale nyaton ko ale bara mal febo science and tending ni ajibe president baro percentage min soro is almost the thing me along ko ay wole soro nung last time, but the question here this time is different because a mol nyin kam this time wole nyindi ko natara albe carte o file BBB for albe carte file jumale so mil ko president baro wole gana sia barakam tele ko oppositional katata la bakele posiaje nyadil ila mute ila mic be mute ni abonde
Yo, abaraka bange buba, nge kontong, aning Aliu, and then Mr. Dampha. I think this is first time I see a platform with Mr. Dampha. Nge fanang kontong, I of course our former president of UTG. So once a president, always a president. Greeting to you, Mr. President, and then Momo be kontong, audience will be kontong, political actors and players be kontong, and then I'm happy to be here to share our perspective on Gambia. And Gambia participates in a survey. So as
munem
for
problem oti survey nyinje nyade
well, survey nying del nga receive le with a very sense of humor and responsibility that data-driven survey is healthy in our democracy. It also helps the actors to tighten their belt and know what are the public sentiments, and of course drive towards either changing the narrative or working on issues that are against them. So as a party,
yeah
I
Yusuf
think
ninsa keno in the local
okay.
languages
So
local
as a party,
yeah
so when you receive in a very good faith, nga jele fananko kuolem important tale na banko ading na election na process kono. Aka carte faila ning ani menu la plazo ni ani patiol menu fana la banko dingole banko la keso dila salong munem banko dingola banko dingola personal issues, and also bango dungo lafta men munel moila ni man laf munel moila. So kamala because of that the survey is as important, and we are not dismissing the survey, and of course the survey the organization me alonko e indada ila time be waste including the resources that we mobilized to conduct the survey, and we must acknowledge and thank them for that, and also thank the participants for giving their perspective. And for me, I think I bring one of the speaker was speaking before they go on live and giving the data. ICO is an opinion polls, and then many alonko the conduct is not an election result, which is a very good one. Mopul mobe salo nyama, but of course mbeya alone in 21st centuries, of course, the method and methodology might differ in terms of data collection, but at the end of the ultimately, it will go a long way in Acapulco actual market along money in Bangkok. Because of that, so when in the deal call me along who can do them, and I think is high is to that more sign and party ibe atala nyaadile adum ibe atala nyaadile adum ibe mune use la ibe mune kela pour ka work on your weaknesses and of course consolidate on your strengths. Of course, near Slovenian fan and Jibe fan, you couldn't done for near cooking stand out. We are going to election until as the ruling party. We have consistently maintained that go. We are leading, and personally, I keep saying that all available data, either publicly and internally, have clearly indicated Nico NPP is leading, and we are the relatively most stable political. Of course, election nakana for me, I believe 24 hours for is too long for political ya for bandale. So it is not over until it's over. So we have taken this survey. But near Juve, from 20 last survey ila round one, volume 2024, I believe, 2025. And yata watole at all indicators, MPP has improved. President Barrow as the person has improved. So that is a positive part that comes from the survey on our part. Because from that time, we are not able to consolidate and change the public perception towards how we govern as a political party and as a candidate, potential candidate. Then we would have seen the survey as a failure from our side because we are not been able to change what was there for past 12 months or more. But the good thing about the survey is NPP as a party and the government that we lead, our coalition, is able to at least respond responsibly to the cries of the Gambian. And as at the time the previous survey was conducted and released. So and niaja improvement sort of I cooking it all I mean to go. We've taken it very seriously. Well, now we look at the areas that is concerning. And of course, apart from survey also, most of us we live in this country. So we interact with the people in their daily lives. So we definitely know what the problems are and what are the things that is acceptable and should not be acceptable. So of course, as the people outside the government, we have the responsibility in giving the feedback and pushing for policies and reforms that will shift those negative reactions from public to the party. And mobile alone 2024, every Masakunda Fanang, you will have your high time and your lower time. So 2024 and 2025, it was one of our toughest time as the government then in the uncertainty in so many issues, from the just out of Russian Ukrainian war, coming to the Iranian war, and then moving to the perception of corruption in the country, the outreach of young people, all those things were things that government as a party we were taking it very seriously. We didn't take anything for granted. We've taken all those concerns as issues that need to be tackled as citizens, as a Gambian, all not to deal with issues as these are anti-government and these are for the government. So Wolbele Atina, near indicator be more is an improvement on our side. So for us, we have to continue as election draw closer. For nga continue nga ko preso nga bedame nga lonne the trajectory of which we've talking since 2025. At least it has paid some dividend to us, but it also saw that ko nyantale nga gena pusla bedame nga tambije. So for us, that's what is there, and we are going to work very hard in making sure that nimang mola lafin na ko anina ila buga ila lafo anila kanon na party anila desire to vote for us. We try, like I said, we try to earn vote of every single Gambian as the election draw closer. Because if you look at the intention to vote, President Barrow is leading. If you look at even his third term bid, he has gone significantly higher. Now it's like 64, 60, almost equal. They have equilibriums now. So in terms of if election is to be conducted today, who's going to be the likely winner? Obviously, President Barrow is leading there. So each of these match either is a 12 point, 15 point, 8 point. For us, we take every point as important as the other point. So it's just a matter of working very hard in making sure that we continue increasing the point, but not go in decline.
All right. So, Janim, I have a lot of follow-up questions me along kon lafte nyin kala but me ali bulala la aning Dampha about this survey ala general of course assessment nyin survey la ko then after ngamuru neka yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Buba. I mean, I think it's for, I mean, for the first time, na NPP ko jaka so very acknowledge, outright. UDP wale kelo start no kaviaje. But it's good though, academics though, these are some of the things me and look on and accept and we looked at it very carefully put kaje ko sa push no nyami. So on the question of Dampha, question follow me in kalamina funny survey ya accept laba. Nia accept what is your general reflections on these outcome on the outcome rather. Even mute in it, Dampha.
Mute ne Dampha yeah.
Answer me.
Okay.
Alka Moilesa.
Go ahead,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, you karo bete at the back. So, nga so we accept le. Nga results nying accept le. And the United as a party, we accept it and we welcome it. And nga Gambia participate 10 to KJ for taking their time to provide an advisory note for all political parties. Because in the call for opinion poll surveys is like an advisory note. Neither a political party to me, we are serious about business. You have to look at it in a positive way. You don't have to accept everything in it because even handmill from survey, they don't accept everything in what they produce because that's why in every survey it will have a limitation, it will have a caveat. They will provide a guidance as to how they want you to interpret their survey, even though you're at liberty to also interpret it at your own way. So until we welcome this survey, I personally welcome this survey, and I thank them for taking the lead. I mean, Kabiring last week, and I remember we got 2%. Don't follow to accept the results, to think this is a very good survey, and believe at the time the survey be caring the 2%. I mean, it's a true representation of it all that data, and we want to believe there was something perhaps maybe happened on the ground. So we use it positively. We work very hard to make sure akana ke community so we do kita na moesia, but even in public eye na moesia ni election on sita fala na moesia means a mark no ganye. So for me that's it pretty much na position in terms of survey. Now coming to the second part of the question, what do I make of it? I think for me, Adina, this survey stands out very well for me is the preamble of the survey. Before they just jump into asking people, they make sure they interview people that are potential voters, more voters card people. Because if you are doing an opinion poll survey, you want to make sure you take the opinion of people whose opinion matters. Who are the people whose opinion matters in election? People that are eligible and have the qualification to vote. Where is eligibility and qualification to vote? That is a voter's card. So they made sure that any other individual is somebody who is a voter's card to the vote. So it boosts the credibility of survey. It made me think respondent is representative of the majority of the Gambian population. And in a a code back is nina rajiwe emol min be nyininka 92% of them ko ning election kera ibe voting killer. 92% of them go voting killer. Only 3% will go voting killer, and then 5% will there undecided. So if me fala idan the wolon ko amako nyin kaito be the bullet da made bari ni election be killer be vote la. And no yalan kaito se tarano mo wala man voting ke yalan ning counting data wata man na faso ko milka voting ke wala ta na faso and yuli itan le ko be voting killer wo dung ya itan ko that is really good or is a data mi yalan ko molse rely no account. One thing for me, my biggest highlights there is that coming use fire for nyami in election not election or in the election of killer be as by all prediction baro be win and mola will continue can obviously UDP la honorable Sinu Dabo mina second and Taliban Suda mina third, but still you have 17% undecided. But the key takeaway for me after the number is what is underneath the number. That is the shift. Number how were they in previous surveys? and what is the trajectory? What is their voting trajectory? One, and also three, how is the voting behavior of Gambians? Because Nina Rajive, out of these percentages, what is going to be their voting behavior or their voting intentions? First of all, they vote one on good governance and how to call it cost of living, how below and stuff like that. I don't know where I put that data. I don't even sorry. So the first of it is economy and cost of living. Yeah, that's one of the reasons me Alanko is going to determine their behavior. So in Tolfonga Ajibe, most about the economy, Alanko is more particular about that. Whether Baro is particular about that, if Baro is particular about economy and cost of living, then I think he should be okay. If he is not, then the other opposition should know what to do. Security and national stability. If Baro is particular about security and national stability, I think it's very clear, and I think that's a key behavior of Gambians. The second one is healthcare. Jara kende abunda. The Gambia be and jara kende abunda when I'm saying whether Baro is particular about it, whether he's doing well, and definitely voting behavior of respondents. This is influencing it. And the fourth one is electricity and water supply. Kurankuwe bango kanyami saying. Ndoflambi and Gambia saying, Haniman Darajal no Kurankuwe nyadi, and it is they're telling you they are voting because of some of these variables. These variables will determine who they will vote for and who they will not vote for. And the employment as well. And they're saying they're going to use this as well to determine if you're voting. So, in a nutshell, for new voting, the dynamic is still changing. What is more important is undecided voters, reduced talent. Who do they go to? They all went to Taliban Suda. Most of them went to Taliban Suda because, if I new better number, impact Baba Onyama. Because the UDP GB, it all last polling is around that. And I'm going to position coming for all along is that they have a base of 25%. That's why for Kabinga complain and you're just complaining. But what Mar and his people did is they've done a pictorial presentation of your position. It's a opposition of they have a base of 25%, and they are so of it. And that's what Mar gave to them. So all they have their number is 25% plus or minus 2. They are either within 25, 26, 27, or 25, 24, 23. And this is not only repetitive in surveys, but the election or election. Now it's left to them to think whether that 25% will win them an election or not, or whether they think they're going to get more to that 25 to win election. And if they think they will, where on earth in this world are they going to get that 25 extra numbers to that 25%? Now that's 17 undecided. They will determine whether they will go to Barrow or whether they will go to Unite or whether they will go to but just to make it short, so many variables in sign they were not existing. Mama Kande Manta NPP. Akeda watol to wado mi alanko Unite manke patriotic. Akeda watol to wado mi alanko Unite man coalition. Akeda watol to wado mi alanko UDP man coalition also. So hopefully new variable will make it a sign thing. Perhaps number in from again. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Yusuf. So yeah, of course, Dampha be minfoka. Akamtele ko the undecided voters mili along ko lebe Gambebe. Mojama be minfoka ibitakan Unite because ngajele is seltaleto 19%, but ibe minfoka Unite be molta kang atol fanandeya. Ite oje nyadele like the undecided voters be talaka ne bitaka Unite le. Do you think that is a bad, but that is very, very bad for your party, NPP?
Well, I I doubt if that is a correct assertion or correct way of presenting this survey, because near Juve, undecided to Nyalemo, people are making up their mind as election grow closer. But then one party cannot claim the undesired voters are swinging to one party, which means we know that United does not come does not fall from heaven. So which means, are you telling me that the 19% plus 17% where government exists in Mandi Sonota? So obviously that is not United. I like us to take the survey the best way we could, but not the claim I do not want to talk about undecided voter. because as election draw closer, people will begin to make up their mind gradually. And now that everybody is sure, all the party will be la pencol tale party coalition will be tale say the direction that we are going to go as a banco. So I hope there is no noise.
But Yusuf, don't you think it makes sense?
No, I
like,
hope there is no noise because my.
No.
Okay, let me continue. Let me continue. Okay. So what I'm saying, United cannot claim undecided voters in a right layer. And if that is the claim, their claim, United fall from heaven. Dampha member Sirinja is from UDP. So the 19% United means sort of B. And in plus 17% may along on the other now. Combine them together. Where were those people? Are you telling me that those they were never in existence? And I like what I found Kumado Ninikaji, where Kumado Wolenko, Molmen participated in survey. The respondent, what is their voting pattern? Where do they use to where do they? I know that I think very significant part of them are people that used to vote. By Nene Kardefai Mintole. That is not clear. But what I'm saying to claim, I don't want to claim as a party, undecided voters are voting for us. What I will emphasize what we will emphasize as a party, we are still going all out for undecided voters, wherever they are. Because election, either with or without survey, classify a motor winner, even at the councillor. In neutral people, so many along they made up their mind close to election, and yet at that moment they see you as the best party for them, and they vote for you. So it happened nowhere. Either Europe, America, anywhere, election will be win. Any party that win an election, for you must have undecided voters adding to you. Now, what do we do to attract the undecided voters? Puriela and the party as against other parties. That is a strategy that we are applying, but we are not going to share. We are not going to share it publicly.
Okay. All right. So I'm Ibrahim engaged. I respond to that before we move on to other thing. Yeah, Ibrahim.
Yes. So I think Yusuf. I mean, coming from Afonyami, you can have an opinion, a generic opinion, but I'm not so for maybe recycling or GVEC, but not maybe recycling or GVEC, and there have been trends. Last Fenko Kabiring survey, Buba, if you want to help me, there was a particular number of percentage, million they are undecided voters, right?
Yeah,
how much was the undecided voters? Do you remember that, Yusuf? Last poll being conducted?
No, I'm actually looking at the current data, not the previous one.
The current one. Okay, that's fine. Buba, did you remember the last poll in the undecided voters?
Yes. I remember the number. It was higher than 17%. I think it was 40. No. I think it's 40%.
Okay, so yeah, I think it was 40%. It's in the 30s. It's in the upper 30s. So now we're talking mathematics here. Last Fenco, we all agreed the number of people that said they don't decide who they will vote for. Like we are all agreeing. Mobe Sondako momi alanko ikoni election okera imare be voting kalamia. We all know that number. For example, in the 30s, let's even assume it's 35. And this time, that group of people, another 17. So they have gone somewhere. It doesn't mean they are human beings and they are still going to vote. Yeah, I understand. So where did they go? So you will only know where they go is by looking at other candidates' roll and number. By looking at other candidates' roll and number. It's at the same range. There is an improvement, but it's at the same range. Where are they getting that number? They are either getting it from the undecided pool or from Adam Barrow's pool. Okay? Ninata Talib Bensura Falanjibe. Last poll he was 2%, right? Sang he is 19%. Where did he get that percentage? He will either get it from the undecided pool or get it from other candidates. No, it doesn't work like that. It is from somewhere. So you only know where it is coming from by knowing ko jumala number bitakan sant jumala number bitakan duma. And barola number be jikan, that is true, but the rate at which the undecided voters reduce, wala siada barola number reduce tanyami. So obviously, the two numbers that have significantly reduced in this as compared to the previous one is barola number and in undecided, because UDP and UDP they are at the same range. Unite improved, right? So that goes to tell you, Ko, obviously you are right. It's not only undecided, but who else is losing? It is Baro who is losing. And I welcome the fact that you agree that there have been changes. In fact you went for to say why you think that changes will be. You talk about 2025, the global shocks indicating the economic turmoil that's happening in the western part of the world, that which is understandable. But that's the reality. Unless if we're looking at the different numbers or different values. But the truth is the number of people in the Gambia who have not decided who to vote for have significantly decreased. And Ibo Nyame Yusfa is look at these people, these respondents, and think about the reason why they are making these decisions. In the beginning of my conversation, they are making this decision based on economy and cost of living. Yes, one thing ita Gambia perhaps but muka fama di ba. Ne Gambia ni cost of living na bibi ani economy. Ma fuka ma mantra ka baroda ma blame wala. But Gambia ba afle ko balu be kolarin. Man buro dakala fala all the time. Buro dakala fala all the time. There's no price control. So some of these things, 76% of the respondents are voting based on this. This is what is influencing their voting. That's what they said. The second is security and national stability. It in the form of the only person in Gambia is safe and secure is Adam Barrow. He have private security. I like to call it that way. I tell the security but not economic. Ida mobuke de kanda, mobukante kanda, mobuka dol kanda. Wala na mol baby fast in Gambia. How many homicides will like the science and so Gambia man secure. That's why people are saying the reason why their voting is influenced is simply because there is no security, there is no national stability. Wala no number kabo Adam Barrow ya and mo do for family alam ko man decision okay vote to say look, according to what is happening, we cannot give it to Barrow, we have to give it to Mayor Bensouda. They have a reason. Healthcare. Nde be yalo no Gambia science courant do be no is a death penalty. For near most of me be ma ko le finti band. Electricity and water. As Ken of Anjanimbe Pareda Jela Kromobidal. And NPP support that. The only people in Gambia, they have constant electricity supply is Adam Barrow and senior government officers. They have the opportunity to have electricity at home. If I call 5 people in Gambia and ask them on this call whether they have electricity, I can tell you 4 out of 5 will tell you Crowman's ready. Perhaps maybe they're from a generator man. And then employment. How many people are employed in Gambia? We can ask this question. And how is that employment? In the biggest pusher in the country right now, the biggest pusher, government. They are the biggest agent of illegal of migration. I don't want to call it illegal migration. The government official like agent so little like a visa legend. Saudi Arabia is the same. They are the people. So I'm just saying, this is not me. This is what the data says. This is what these people said. I don't know what they said. Perhaps they have another reason, or maybe it will come in feel, but these are the issues that is influencing their voting behavior. So it's not going to be that is why this conversation is important, because everyone, anything you are saying, analytics, you are basing it on those numbers, and everyone is seeing that number. So it's not a pious dream. It's not an open talk. Yeah. It's a conversation based on actuality. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Yusuf. Okay, ngamara ala network ole bidaka.
Electricity is gone. So this is what is influencing the behavior of Gambians to vote.
Yusuf to fala nyum program oro janda ni ko dara wa fala do crown. So ngalong elani ko na sorde kala kilo blandi ko new program broadcast between the Gagigo News Network and of course Think Point podcast program we fika nyindula flow belto the natra etewa jibe kan dawda nyindula flow to ni subscribe na channel and of course you can share the program wobe nyameng milba jibe kang on TikTok because by live le TikTok, Facebook, and also on the YouTube milba jibe kang TikTok, I'll TikTok also thinking also tab
Okay,
like I
sorry,
think
yes, sorry,
TikTok.
network column. I'm back now. Are you? Sorry.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes. So when it comes to electricity, follow, ndella manzagunda, we don't have what do we call nyini nyanda soda nyini manya soda. Any area that nyanda lam kurang obe nyanda nyanda kolayat soda alba soda. Either you are government officers. I know so many people live in their houses as a government officers. When light go never go off, it go off with everybody. So now that it come for everybody too. So but Kasojesko coming is only Barrow and his government. That is not correct. And number two, in terms of security, yes, Tonyale, there was a surge in homicide, suicide, and then of course reckless killing. So in Bangokang, it's only normal when people are conducting their surveys. They look at the current issues that are happening. Right? And I think these are things that mobile, including the government officers, know what are these are the problems that we need to tackle head on. But then ninta da survey la mafangola apart from yemole memira jomale win na ilafta board la jomale, like I said, all indicators ya dan into luko even well before this survey come in. We know our stand, we know our strength, and we know our weaknesses as a ruling party. Okay, we conduct our own survey put along where we stand on it. So that is why when issue like this comes out, nothing surprises us because we are prepared and we know where we are. And I keep saying it, this election is MPP is more prepared, more organized to participate in election. However, UMC and any other political parties, it is they have the same right to participate. But in Gambian, apart from all this, Gambians will have to also look at the candidate. Many along they are coming forward to contest this election. Because at the end of the day, if you look at the security sector, which of these candidates are proposing an alternative? Let's even put the survey thing aside. These are the most critical thing. The most critical part that take a center stage is security sector, living costs, and unemployment. So these are the problems. Which of these candidates are proposing a plan that governments are about to believe and trust that person Neko? Niyan Plazo Diala, Amaring has either history or Asake Nole. That is also a very fundamental because at the end of the day, the good thing about this these three leading participants is Gambian only in bail on the sign. None of them are Abuda Santo, Abuda Meya Longo. This is somebody completely a new person. Let's just give him a chance and see how it goes. So the good thing about the election is people have opportunity to thoroughly scrutinize this individual candidate and see who among them. So who among them is able to convince more Gambians and Gambian will later Menna. That person would definitely get the undecided vote. And in my strong view, the undecided voters and the large number of Gambians are definitely going to go with the President Barrow and NPP party because each of these sectors that Memema can say that are challenges, we are honestly and openly discussing it with the public. So that more along where we are as a country, at every step of the way, menu mintole, ngatra dame, ndiliata kata dame, and betaka mintole. And that is one good thing about us, the MPP government. We have tried as much as we can to open government to everybody. Yes, when you have issues, we must for issue to be addressed. For bango dungoli yalo noko. These are our challenges. Through Mazakunda challenges and acknowledge the challenges. And also inform public, this is where we are and this is where we are heading, and these are our constraints. So once Mole and London, so government, I believe they are very, very supportive citizens. They will definitely support the government. When, for example, I can give you one example. Bring light and Navik coin starter. Government people start being agitated, but it doesn't even go to large because people don't have too much information as to when and how. But the moment information starts going out properly, consistent engagement with the public, people that public trust and confidence start building up, and more start to give a government a listening ear. So when you go to employment part, government is not saying that we don't have unemployment, but we likely the employment is significantly going high because government is getting a lot of jobs. But if you look at this election, personally, um, is going to be determined by living rise of living costs and living costs in Fanang. Yes, we that is in public domain. It has everything to do with um, how the global market operate now, the crisis in Middle East, and of course, Gambia being a very small economy, and we really have a very little or no savings, and then we cannot continue subsidizing, some of these basic commodities that we needed. Um, uh, we just have to face the reality, and the reality is government has to communicate honestly about it and openly. And in terms of helping more money along the finance, imantra ibe batari because more bataman the level kele. This government has come up with a plan many alongo. You know, I'm the most vulnerable in community. For the more many alongo, they have no mean of source of income from where anywhere. They are giving them I think quarterly or every month at least some amount of money directly paying to their account. Those are the some of the social policies that the government back here aside from because ninga sila doko for people are saying that the manda silo bill kan. But sila doko is one fundamental go banko bukata okoma.
Okay,
So
Yusuf,
yes.
going back to the survey, me Ali Bulalala engage because it's more of the survey. I know you have a lot of things me along you want to say that you feel like your government is doing, but I will engage course on how this course Ali go ahead. Ali Mantre Moika, I don't know why.
Yes, I am not seeing Ali either. I
Okay,
think he having an issue.
Ali yeah,
But I
neka
have
jelo
a phone
bare
call
muka
somewhere.
mo.
The mantra je come from.
Oh, Ali be fintila na ne ye dunna koreke maybe
Yes,
because
I guess. Never
mbuke
enter like that.
yeah. Okay, ndewa jelo bara boga mantra ada diamo mantra naka. So but Jani Ali Bina in West Coast ngajele ko Unite le atol ni UDP be lead in West Coast. Let's see. I think I'm sorry.
Yes. So I come right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
came very
call
clear.
solo jamaj banina tana kila call bidu ni nyokan. I've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yusuf, nyara jibe kaviri sobe fini da nung na joko Unite minal noko wala mutali ben suda la party di. Italy particular beta nyara West Coast ni Birkama. And in fact, they were able to pull a lot of percentage. Nyara, KMCGB almost 28%. President Barrow, as the incumbent with the machineries, the visibilities, and the record of his government, Yesilon Mindoku, Otundol Kantaring, Ning Kuramol Misambanang, Kombosalo Fananina. Still now, I'm 50% pool no. Nyata Jio, wala 40% in those regions. What went wrong? Is it that people don't trust him or what?
Okay. Yusuf malum for yala question
Yes.
wala mo ile.
No, I didn't get him. Master.
So mbami faka wala mko. Ika mwele febe kama follow. Man for Yusuf ako malaba. It looks like Yusuf is behind, like 30 minutes behind. Yeah, Yusuf is.
No. Mantra Moika.
Camera bende kamera mantre de I don't know what is happening.
Ndeka albe
Okay.
mo le na. Ndeka
Okay.
albe mo.
Okay. Jinta mina
The mantra Alule Moika.
mune. Okay. Mantra alule
Yeah.
moika. Be nyini ka me attende ite al no J because yeah, as far as the survey is concerned, United later in West Coast, but at all man lead yeah told UDP bile bondi on top. So basically about be nyini ka kan wala.
No, well, West Coast, West Coast is a battleground area for everybody, and in every election, at least since this new dispensation came, even the last election of 2021, as at the time we go into the election, we know we are strong. What we were fighting for is to at least go as much as we can to get more vote and divide the vote in West Coast. That was the plan. Nobody, will claim you are the political master in West Coast, and because West Coast is a very cosmopolitan area, and it's not only in Brikama and Brikama surrounding, but West Coast Wara Batale, and then most of the people that work in public sector, healthcare, banking sector, across our service sectors in the country, all live literally, largely live in KMC and West Coast. These are the people that understand the issues and also go in and out of the country every day, including seeing, just like what Mr. Dampha is saying, healthcare at the Inyaming. So some of them will share the same sentiment with, and also have their own way of thinking, we can solve the problem better than what the government is doing. So obviously, Motafolago, these two areas, you are going to claim it before election day. What you can do as a party, if you want to be honest with yourself, is to work very hard to make sure that you convince as many people as you can. Well, UMC leading in West Coast, I do not. I strongly believe in data-driven election, but I do not think that will reflect on election day. I strongly believe that West Coast is going to be a battleground between United Democratic Party and NPP. UMC cannot have their heavy in they might have it in Soviet, but when you go to the election pool, I cannot show you. No, I do not. I don't want to. I don't want to say I don't Malla Sovela. I know for sure. West Coast Mankaja Maya Longo.
Yeah, but so when you Almantra lead Kanje. So if
no,
you are saying
I disagree
you're still going to win there, that means Malla Sovenian.
I believe the election conductor B. The very way Mojamako Baro President winner. West Coast, we are going to win in West Coast. I can assure you of that 100% because I am on the ground and we are involved every day. So I can assure you, we are very, very solid in West Coast. I am not saying we are going to win West Coast landslide, but I know we are very strong in West Coast, and we are continuing to push. And we have almost 90 days to the election, so which is also good for us. Now that this survey is out, I'm sure very soon the Cyprus also survey will come out, and in the form of like I said. So definitely, I believe West Coast is battleground for everybody, but largely between NPP and UDP. UMC, they might have one of the things that you can attribute to UMC also, funding call for now, they're more lenient towards UMC than other parties. All those are advantage for them. But by and large, I'm not seeing them going anywhere because as election draw closer, people will more the kujamat access la. The name election what I go at the beginning survey a very political party will be, because like Mr. Dampha said, it's an advisory note to all of us, unless the party that want to fail. Because I am not part of those group of people who are going to be very, very arrogant with the data and say that and dismiss it, because I believe public sentiment, it needs to be taken very seriously. Personally, I have my own views as to what needs to be done, and this survey only consolidates some of my views, and I will continue pushing in those things in my party to make sure that we get some of those things done.
Okay. Aliu bita Ibrahim. Ibrahim, Italy moy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Aliu.
I don't know why I'm Aliu moy mbugaje.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ndolka Aliu ila mic on mute. Please go ahead.
So Ibrahim, you come right?
Yes.
Okay, so mbami fokan nunko United kabatal natara alien survey kabri nya survey results nje alma kata back any other URR and in Sandul to Mafang. What did United have for those people in URR to be able to convince them, those farmers in URR?
Yeah, and also if you want to respond to Tunkara, you can go ahead and the same time.
Juandeba.
If you have anything to respond before you answer Ali's question, you can go ahead and you respond.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with Tunkara. It's okay for us not to completely agree with a survey results. You can disagree with parts of it. What is Molka Menfol, and do not discredit it in its entirety. and it's okay for him to think of because it will yellow on so vehicle in West Coast or it will level ground to they feel like that is not a true representation, which is fine. And he said he even admitted the young voters are more sweet towards Talib Bensouda, which I agree to. But for me, I want to agree with the results in West Coast, and I think as time goes, Adam Barrow will perform very poor in West Coast because I mean this one made them back because Talib Bensouda got 24%, Adam Barrow got 23%, Usainu Dabo got 20%. But still, there is a chunk of 24% undecided vote. That is very high. That's the highest. The highest number of undecided voters reside in West Coast. 24% of undecided voters in West Coast. So literally, the number of people that say they will vote for, the percentage of people that say they will vote for Talib Bensouda is equal to the same number of people or the same percentage of people that say they won't or they don't know who to vote for at this point in time when the survey was conducted. But even in Yusuf, most of the people that understand issues, most of the people that are at the center of all these difficulties Mimbe be are people that reside in West Coast. I know maybe belong on a call understand and stuff like that, but people in West Coast come back because those are the people they daily interact with issues that are happening in the country in terms of cost of living, in terms of employment, in terms of all the other variables that is influencing voter behavior. So I am equally surprised that Adam Barrow is even able to get 23% ahead of Usainu Dabo, especially when a UDP mayor is in Brikama. A UDP councillor is in Brikama. But I'm telling you, if this survey proceeds, you will see a huge change, in my own opinion, as per the trends and as per the voting behavior. Unless if people change their behavior, if people now want to vote for who build the beautiful roads, now if people want to now depend their voting behavior of who says the big words, or if people want to change their voting behavior towards who has the most beautiful convoy, if those changes, perhaps the trend can change. But as far as what I'm seeing, and as far as why they said the reasons why they're voting new continuator, then therefore new undecided voters may go 24%. You can see or you can expect very least from them. Because undecided voters, their chances of voting for candidates that already exist is low. It's only because new candidates will be covering previous election. All these undecided voters, they have seen Usainu Dabo, they have seen Adam Barrow. They have seen them. They have gone to a poll and see Usainu Dabo, they have seen Adam Barrow, right? And then, and still they are undecided. So that goes to tell you, they still are not satisfied with the two. And now that they have a new kid on the block, Miyalanko is carrying chunk of the people Miyalanko they fall in the same category with them. That should tell you, it should be very worrying. If you ask me, I should tell you the most worrying, the most two parties, Miyalanko, they should worry so much of this survey if it should be principally considered. It should be NPP. Because why is it that I can bet that this 24% most of them have voted for Adam Barrow in the last presidential election. As per the past last presidential election, Nimba compared to now, this 24% undecided voters, most of them voted for Adam Barrow. Now they voted for Adam Barrow. Just after 5 years, now they are telling you they don't know who to vote for. You should be very careful. And then I can tell you one of the reasons why they vote for Adam Barrow last election is because they don't see a viable alternative in the bloc. They don't see a viable alternative in the ballot. Now, if they see a viable alternative in the ballot, they're not going to look at Halifa Sallah and say, well, if I vote for Halifa Sallah, okay, Adam Barrow will lose, Usainu will win, and I don't like Usainu, so let me just vote for Adam Barrow in a way of protesting against Usainu Dabo. That's not happening because they are seeing somebody on the ballot that they know have chances of winning. And the fact that this numbers is being swayed, it's a worrying condition to you and your team as well. And then, let me move quickly to the second part of Alula question.
I just want to quickly before you move. Can I comment?
Okay, I don't know whether Alu will want me to. I just want to say Alula question in terms of
okay.
So you see, Alu, I mean for URR is very important because this time Asara Unite is building up. Asara Unite Manglo and Unite. At some point, they have not widened its tentacles around those areas. But do you know what we did, Aliu, after the elections? I don't know if they are aware, but they are in a huge trouble, big trouble. We have ward representatives in every nook and cranny of that country. We have self-appointed chairmen. We have self-appointed mobilizers. People will call you and tell you that I am responsible to mobilize for Unite in this ward. They will create a WhatsApp group and add people there. They will mobilize, get cash, and come and to the office just to see me and speak to him. These are people that are doing this out of will. You don't give them nothing. You don't even convince them. You have not even told them to come to you. At this point in time, but now that the political party, all these words, Nyoro Jaraba, Joben, URA, all those corners, we have our ward representatives there, we have our ward mobilizers there, we have our village representatives, village mobilizers there. And then you can see, even our these impromptu tours, which are not even announced. Village in a convoy stop. And these are in public. And recently, you have had audios yourselves, Tunkara Mole. They are warning Tunkara because even before these results come out, I have listened to about 10 audios where you NPP call Kafindi to warn the party to tell them, look, now village remember Kenya is very worried. We have to get up here. And these are people that they know themselves. You understand? Mm-hmm. So for me, I think you are right. We have not done well in CRR because our party leader is from KMC. About KMC like KMC and he's leading in KMC. So naturally, there's a disjoint between him and those people that URR people because and then man told as Unite and then only man wo deep interaction also even though most of them can call them, most of them can and jail but at the political platform coming borrow opportunities of nyami kata told politicians of nyami ka silo loje come useni opportunities of nyami kata ka toso de ka candidates and stuff like that. Until more also we're just starting. But we are even more frequent than all of them. Even if you add their numbers together, we are even more frequent. Just yesterday, we had in Jobe. We're going home, our convoy was stopped. So for us, we know very well if a poll has to be run again now or in the next 2 months, you will be very surprised. And that's why we made a declaration. And our declaration is by October 2026, Unite will be the biggest political party in the Gambia. And inshallah, in December 2026, there will be results that will shock people. I promise.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Tunkara, before Abeduna Sierra Recorder.
I was Nambella Morola no ka jube kata ala point kata dame. Biring abada on the side of la ko kata kandron. Ako munatina he was quick to say ko munatina wolman karte fai. World about because last time there was no option. Hello, this is the kind of conspiracy theory. Taliban still another mall. Yeah, used against UDP. Purka UDP tala. Kafoko, yes, mall manta karde file law. And this is what they are using. They want to sell, but I can tell them it's not going anywhere. It's not flying. I can assure you of that. If someone believes like they want to position themselves as that kind of candidate who is going to serve as a middleman when Barrow and Hussein Dabo are fighting, and for them they will just come and snatch it and go with it. That's not going to happen. They can only for a lot of people are not voting for Hussein Dabo, voted for Barrow last election because they don't have option. Hussein Dabo, you cannot say they don't have option. There was Esam Bayfal in last election who came.
Oh, but Tungara, they have shown that the 90% lyrics speak a lot about it.
Let me learn. Last election, we have Esa Fall who came into the race, I think less than 2 months or thereabout, and got 18,000 votes. Okay, we have late Abdullah Bojang, I believe, who has pulled 8,000 votes. NUP. We have Halifa Salah, who pulled 30-something thousand votes. So definitely, there are people as election get closer. Undecided voters does not only decide. There's no vote for only Barrow. People vote as election get closer. So people made up their mind a night before election on who to vote for. There are people who still now they were about I don't even know who to vote for. But I like, this survey is what the reason why I have to admit this survey at my personal level is because I interact with people. My constituency is students. Okay, I interact more with the student than anybody else, and these are two who literally tell me, man, as from all indications, I think Barrow will win. So they alone all the time. But I'll keep telling them, look, that is not my point. My point is, please come and join me to help Barrow win. If you don't vote, Barrow will not win. And these are people that are not NPP members. So
will you agree that there were in 2021?
I want to address this. And
I just want to say, Tunkara, I just want to tell Tunkara something. He just mentioned one thing, just 30 seconds. I just want to let you know that Molmin can respond. If you ask another person, that is in the survey. I just want to tell you, for science, it's in the survey. Voting intention and who you think will win.
That is what I'm saying.
They think Barrow will win. If you ask them again, who will you vote for? Do you think they will tell you guys they will vote for Barrow?
No, you don't get my point.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to establish here is, this is why I myself have to accept this survey is because of this. Before this survey from Kana, feedback at my own level, more can you. So which means some of those people they are making up their mind. I don't know if you're getting my point. I'm trying to dismiss the fact that people on this other voters will vote for Talib, or they will switch to Talib eventually because they don't have option. No, that cannot be the case. They will have option eventually as time goes closer. So some people are still busy minding up their business, trying to get some issues resolved, and looking at who's going to go where. Because as I'm talking there, some people still believe somebody will withdraw from somebody. Maybe UDP send that one Talib dingolem abenala kanne. Or some magic will happen. All these things are some people's mind until they see election is coming and they are faced with reality, either go and vote and stay at home. That's when they come and they are going to decide. So literally, the undecided voters can go either ways. And I can assure you, like I said, there are large chunk of them are going for Barrow. Yes, I agree. There are so many people voting for President Barrow. And I have already said it earlier. Nobody will win election only with your own people, unless the whole country decides to sit down and only your party supporters go and vote. But based on what I'm seeing, the energy within our electorate, 92% of people of their respondents have said they will vote. So for me, that's a very positive feedback. So how are they going to vote now is where the question mark. And here, he talked about URR, for example. I can tell you for free, there is no way Talib can have anything in URR. And it's not about being a candidate alone. Because either Moli alone or Melong, he has opportunity to serve community, to serve the biggest municipality here. Look, if Talib have done well in KMC, I should be able to speak highly of what he's done. So, because KMC is where people are. That's where all of us are. I might go to my village and come and mobilize my people, but my life is in KMC and West Coast. So I know more in what is in West Coast, what affects us, what our local government is doing or not, than anywhere. So definitely, the people that are going to decide, those people that you are talking about, they are also going to look at President Moro's scorecard and Taliban's scorecard. Because the good thing is those people live here. So, man, that is why I'm saying, not dismissing the survey, but the reality on ground is all indicators have clearly shown that President Moro is leading. And we've already known that President Moro is leading. This survey only gives us that, because we cannot come and release our own survey. Do you understand? So, but these are the things that will sometimes confirm our own internal, things that we are running up and looking at. So it's only consolidate and strengthening us more, and also make us believe on what we are doing. And we are not dismissing it, but we not agree entirely with the survey. But that is what it is. The emergence of UMC is only going to consolidate our democratic process, and all other not only UMC and all other parties. But by and large, the contest is between United Democratic Party and UDP. That is my personal view.
Yeah, but
Ali, go ahead.
Buba, I just want to let you know one thing, Ningata. I just want to tell you, Ko, let's forget about this survey, but if you allow me 1 minute, I want to put this survey outside the box here and talk about last presidential election, national assembly election. You will only know that people were not voting for UDP and NPP if you compare the National Assembly elections and the presidential elections. Adama Barrow in the last presidential election won a whopping 53.23%. 53.23% when Adam Barrow's name was on the ballot. Ousainou Darboe, 27.72%. The rest of the candidate, Mama Kande 12, Halifa 3, Esafal 2%, Abdullahi 1%. Okay? Now, what happened in the succeeding National Assembly election? UDP maintained their 27%. That was it. They maintained their 27%. They actually got 28.04%. But what did NPP got? NPP they dropped from 53.23% to 29.19%. So the people that were in the ballot, they did not see Ousainou Darboe, they did not see Adama Barrow, they just see NPP and UDP, and they choose UDP, some UDP candidates and some independent. And in fact, what happened is independents got 21.76%, 12 seats. So that is telling you, these independents, it's not like they have not voted, they have voted. Where did they vote for? They have voted for Adama Barrow. That is why Adama Barrow got 53.23. So the moment they have an alternative in the ballot, what did they do? They went and voted for that person. So you are in a huge trouble. And I know you understand that. Because what is happening right now is that the political and the voting landscape has alienated UDP. They have made UDP as an outlier and as an outlier in politics. That is a group of people that will not affect what the results will be. They have their 25 plus or minus 2 at the edge there. Now you are in a trouble because the 75, 76 or 77 or 74 or 73 is what is going to determine what these elections will be. And in that, you had 50 because people that were voting for you did not see a handsome young guy on the ballot. Now it is different. They have seen somebody there. So now, in this election, the person who is going to win this election will win it from 35 to 47%. And you can get that vote, you can get 35 to 37 and win. You are within that range here. Be happy right now. But the way the trajectory is going, Yusuf, Gambia, Gambia, Gambia. Before we can all bet here. Life we can bet on that. If you disagree, we can bet on that. That's how it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
I mean, as a kid, you understand? Because so right now, that is what is going to determine the elections. I am telling you, Yusuf. And I know you know, and that's why you're having your emergency meetings, but it's not going to stop. We're going to go after you.
I'm not having emergency meetings.
What NPP want is they want Gambians to think that this is an election between Ousainou and Adama Barrow, because Adama knows very well it is easy to have Ousainou played around in a very respectful way. It's very easy to win against Ousainou, especially presidential. I mean, you don't have to be competent to win against Ousainou, right? Perhaps he's not a bad person, he's a good guy, but Gambians don't prefer him. But that's different. So that's why in Koyoko, this trajectory and the political landscape is completely changed, and it's done by a new kid on the block.
Well, I think it's good. UMC participate. For me, that's how I see UMC and Talib Ahmed Bensouda's candidature. It's to prepare himself for 2031, which I think is good as a young person. We should encourage young people to get involved. I encourage.
So it's not for 2026, it's 2031.
It's 2031, not 2026. That I know for sure, and he know what I'm talking about. The reason why UDP Mansour ticket or Dilala is because they know he's going to use that for negotiation for 2031, and they are not sure if he didn't win this time, he will want to stay with them if they don't give him this candidate because he wants to be president. So definitely, I know that's what they are driving at. But you are welcome to the terrain.
This is the first episode of course, class 2020. Maybe I'll end up just all engaged Puri Sara. Now 1 hour sorole. This is the first Fenkoning. Nyinem first episode nyindi, but we are expecting some people to join. Nyanta political analyst sorole nyim program modole. Inshallah ni ala kidi tala next week afana me join na nyim program modole. Next week me tuba fana sorole tuba mare me alon ko mobe ba to kane pride yam. Mare fana sorole nyim program modole. So next Saturday will be very, very, very interesting. But Aliu mbebla in gaile yela jesol engage then yesara. Then dole na sara ya.
All right, Buba, abaraka baake, Ibrahim, Allah kacha indiara baake, Yusuf atam molimi ana baka bori kacha ala baake, o kumara baake, bari
And
sitting president.
that is very good, That is very
Yeah,
good.
at least
I admire you, Yusuf, because I don't. If
Yeah.
I were in his shoe, I would definitely be running away at some point. He's a very strong guy, man.
ispa
Yeah, he is.
anil Lamin
He
buka beng.
is.
Lamin ko benda no gulo kona jana, bari mo fanyale min kera oldar. Lamin la
Right.
Lamin ko benda ako benda basira ba jedu tale, ako jedu tale, benda basi gulo kona. All right, so gentlemen, thank you so much for coming over. I mean, Kobuba Afanyami, this is the first episode as we look into elections. Kumala by Prukanaka Kacha, and then, but we're gonna discuss. This country belongs to all of us. The security of the country is our concern. Our parents are in the Gambia, and everything that has to do with everything in the Gambia concern all of us here. So Ibajaloko, I mean, to have a free, fair election and credible election for me and Loko, Muntal be Kundo Duno Ladi. And we are looking forward a very transparent and peaceful election in the Gambia. And the fund organization is in the front line. Civic Bandaba Mial Nako they are part of Election Watch, powered by UN and AU. So I mean we are behind the scene. That's why we cannot take part. Lamin was part of us, but at the time politician or now barely saying. So I mean, it's a sarodi Ibrahim, but Janiba sarodi la. Mbe in kala question kilinala. It ya mira it atal ko I mean Talib is the best alternative come 2026 December. Barrow and Dabo is not. Why do you think Talib is better than Barrow? And used for the same thing to you. Why do you think Barrow is better than both Talib and Hussein Dabo? Given that the 10 years dealer and still people are complaining about cost of living. Why do you really think your president can do different? So Ibrahim, you can answer to that. Then Yusuf will come.
Yeah, I think your preamble is not fair because your preamble kind of answered my question. We've given Barrow 10 years. And they are 10 years of Namanke Silaloti. And Namanke Kumaba 40 because obviously Barrow is the best when it comes to that. Namanke, we say the turmoil, definitely. I think that's what we've been experiencing in the past 10 years. The developments that happened in the Gambia in the past 10 years are only visible developments by road, by buildings, and so.
Yeah, maybe Yusuf Bratita, maybe ni Ibrahim after na yeah.
Yeah, he's a William
uh,
guy.
yeah,
Why do you,
so, well,
I mean, the question
Barrow,
is, why do you think we need to give Barrow another mandate, to continue?
Mm.
well, I think Barrow document for the past 5 years is enough for Gambian Yajoko Anyantale. Well, enough 46% is saying that yes, he should still go. So at the little below four below half of the country saying yes. So Omukole me not no more man la Barola, Molia miracle, Amantra Dogola. I mean, they wouldn't have given him. I mean, the last survey, round one, I think scored him around 30 something percent. Now he's at 46%. So that is the clear indication that government really want continuity. Because we believe Mola Tonyale to have a time
No
limit,
one
but
wants
we
to
have a
give Yusuf a gift on the TikTok, but he said my setting is not allowing him to send gift on TikTok. I don't know. I'm Ntabungaga to TikTok, but I will check it out. Yusuf, there are people who want to send you gift on TikTok because we allow
oh,
TikTok too, but
okay, that's
my
nice.
setting, unfortunately, for my setting, but I will check it. I will check it. All right,
Please,
you can
please, please,
continue.
please do, please do.
Yeah,
So yes, so
yeah.
Mola President Kendola President yeah the define based on a number of years of service. Until we believe
Mm,
loko anin mo jama banko kanya bare do ko men start do go le men ya lon ko
mm,
nyanta we need a level of continuity at least so that we can have a stable leadership and some of these projects that we've started, we can get them completed. And then President Kendonde, near America Jube, one of their greatest presidents, Menya Lonko, Ayakujama Nafije, he served for 4 terms. So America have, and other countries, they have leaders men serve beyond their 10 years. So it's not about 10 years, it's about the principle of development. And once you follow that, we are good. And I think that most of government are in agreement with President Barrow a continent, because all right now, every service, either you want to vote for or you want him to
All right.
continuously
Camera na
engage
Okay, go ahead.
partner. I was there. So for us, our scorecard is there for everyone to see. We have a very easy commodity to service President Barrow. Aladoko, Ndeluka wole wafi. And once government agree, the President Barrow government start is the way to go. I bet they will return him back to State House, and that's where we are. And President Barrow is the candidate to bet, and is the one that is going to come back with victorious in December. Well, all other opposition parties are going to struggle, very much struggle far behind him, and not because incumbency, but it's because our doko. Momo na Gambia jump, and more Western Gambia, Kukiling and Bemaloko. President Barrow is trying to do something about every single sector in this country. Every sector. Mafia killed it, but he tried to do something. May I look, I try like a domandinke, Kakol Fale, Abenundang, and may I look, among them try. So who do we go for? So for me, that is the bottom line. That is the contrast, because for Hussein Daba, I will not say much because he has been in position for so many years and he has been in government, so government will decide that. For the newcomer, that I mean, the like Mr. Dampha who said, the Mr. Handsome guy, he has been a mayor for 10 years. What have he done? When I try to see what have we done in KMC, like really nothing, apart from traffic light, like really nothing. I'm not thinking. Like something, I mean, we need to see something tangible, something that more people can say that yes, this was our mayor. In terms, either is social policies or infrastructure development. But can I feel that I'm not saying failure is not good, but look, you cannot drive. Look at from Westfield, Carava Avenue is the face. From Westfield to Carava Avenue to traffic light is the face of KMC, and from Westfield to Iceman is the face of KMC. I mean, those Dreneyo Damma Bijele, Mayo Nala Council for 10 good years, they are not able to cover them. They are not all Imang Hanika from Nyamo Bondije, Mo Ken, Ima cover. Like really, what are the main policies that may have most of Taliban and KMC? Something that can have everlasting memory on people's mind. Kafoko KMC Benun. This was the picture of KMC. And now this is the picture on the Talib. Really, it's not there. The building we are seeing, it started by the previous mayor. Okay, he have tried his best. But look, Nika from the mayor from officer from Dala Follow, sometimes warule. If I was a mayor, no matter what I would do, but that mayor's entrance of mayor building, I'm at the government house, Nika Dunyeba now, there's a seat of power here. I will make sure that road that drainage cover, that but nothing really like I cannot see. So even if I'm not supporting President Barrow, there's no way I can solve Taliban this way. There is no way. He's a young guy. I like him. I mean, I like his sense of commitment in fighting UDP. I appreciate that. But
the analysts are saying that you are bleeding and Talib is the cause of that bleeding. What do you say about that?
Which bleeding? Political bleeding?
Yes.
Well, December will tell. Let's wait and see. We are not bleeding. I can assure you. We are not bleeding.
Okay.
I can assure you we are not bleeding. You know, they can believe whatever they want to believe, but trust me, we are not bleeding. Look, I believe this. I'm not saying because of politics. I'm saying what I strongly believe in. I could be wrong. Okay. But I strongly believe because elections between NPP and President Barrow. NPP and UDP, sorry. Talib, yes, they could come as a third force. I believe Talib is preparing himself for 2031. That is my belief. And
do you agree that UDP base is unsackable? So if Talib is going to take anywhere, it's going to be on you. Do you agree
think
on
our
that?
base is sackable too? Is that what you think? I mean, okay. Well, how on earth? Actually, Mr. Dampha says something like trying to draw a contrast between the December 4th, 2021 and April 9 or 10, 2022 and then 2023. So you cannot link these two together. Okay, and we all know this has been historically. Everybody know Gambia political presidential election normally attracted more participants, more voter turnout than every other election. So when we are going to parliamentary election, NPP have its own challenges. Mind you, we have 7 or 8 political coalition partners. And when we go to parliamentary time, all these problems, all these parties, because NPP is not intending to kill any party, but all these parties will start struggling on where to fix a candidate. Sometimes it becomes very difficult. Put party only sombe songo, party killing a janna candidate tambe or support. So all those factors are there. It's beautiful now. We are all going to election. UMC is forming their own NGO alliance. Is okay. UDP are forming their own alliance, and NPP have its own alliance. But when you go for parliamentary election, my friend, so election, we cannot compare president election and the parliamentary election. I think cannot killing it. President election, president election, because president election, more be famota, and the kind of basilinga basi beta, and a fellow getting an afino baroya, and an baroya. But Ninka de Breca for you. Ndefangada Molnunka, and the card for you. And you more sabale lorinje, they are all from the same community. Ngadia many ye lonne. Maybe Jan Ninda and Dia would be more of that, you never baroba, you never tonale. But Ninga Moro Tamayalo is from the same community in Ninte. Nanyoba Malo, Nanyofa Malo. Nindo Kaleka River, Nibala, when Ninga Molo, Janin B. So there's no way. Yusuf neither a Becca, but can't deal. I'm sorry. And there's nothing I can do about that. So, these two, we cannot compare them. So there's no way Barrow can come from 450,000 votes. Kadung, because if you look at the 32% that they are talking about, 27%, there's no way Barrow will lose that kind of numbers to UMC. I can assure you of that. There are people who voted for Barrow, maybe they don't have option last year. That might be true. Okay, I'm not saying that's not true, but there is no way, the United the UMC will be an obstacle, and like they say, they will make us bleed. I do not think. If I see that, anytime I see and I'm convinced with the data, I would definitely acknowledge it. But for now, I have not seen that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Ale, you gotta engage
Ibrahim,
Ibrahim.
you want to respond to Akalmando Kusobeka KMC?
Yeah, no, but that's fine. He said something at the conclusion of his statement. He said he is going to believe it when data presents it, and now data presents it to you. Now it's not left to you to believe.
What is the data? Where from which data?
The data told you that your number is decreasing. The undecided people are voting for.
I know. I was not increasing. If election hold today, Jamal winner, you go and tell them. BBB, Jamal winner, you go barrel. So the bottom line is to win election anyway. If election is to hold today,
that's fine. Well, I agree.
We are winning. We are. So why do we have to go back and forth? That is aside. You go again. But find the kalole. I would have been very much scared if the desire for President Barrow to run for a third term was still at the same numbers. I would have been very, very much concerned. And yesterday I was keenly. I make sure I watch this live, so that I see every single thing. So as they were unveiling them, the excitement keep coming up. So I feel like, okay, yeah. I think we have done a lot, because I personally have done so much, at our party headquarters in making sure that we push for some of these things, and I'm happy that we are seeing the numbers are changing in our favor.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So like I said, you said very clearly that if you see data that will be of a concern to you, and the data told you, like I was saying, that your numbers are reducing, and that Talib is typing in
that is a misleading. No, data have not said our numbers.
But this 19% is coming from somewhere, and then it's coming from your
exactly.
What was your poll? What was your percentage in the last polls? Listen to me. Just listen to me now. I just want to ask you, what was your last What was your percentage in the last poll?
So are you telling me that the numbers, that 19% that
Yes,
Taliban
answer
got,
my question.
I don't tellable? No, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to answer your question.
Let me just conclude.
Please conclude.
So I know Yusuf is a very smart guy, and I know he takes this number seriously, and I know he's going to raise an alarm to his guys, which I'm not happy of. If I had my way, this survey wouldn't come out. Let them just think they're winning until the election day. Well, let me make this very clear, Buba. What Taliban should have done in KMC, it's something that speaks for itself. Both legally, both professionally,
Legally, please diss me.
The way he changed the dynamics of how business is done in that office, Molialan. We all know that office before was an office that's principal responsibility is to celebrate birthdays.
10 years for reform. 10 years reform.
Exactly. The responsibility is to celebrate birthdays. When Talib came, the things that he's done, the developments that he has brought, Talib has just won the Bloomberg Award. It is the only city in the entire
Mr.
Africa
Dampha, tell me what Talib have done in KMC.
Let me just conclude.
Mr. Sponsor, I'm not responsible.
Bloomberg, reform, all this is office work. Tell me one practical
Buba tuja barosilo dogo KMC la de. I'm not Mr. Dampha for that one.
But Talib
so let me respond. So saying,
if you say reform, then we have gone digital. Civil service now is digital. We are talking about those ones.
The Bloomberg Award is KMC. This year is the only city that won that, and everyone knows how that award is administered. Yeah, I understand. We already seen how they is returning packages. That is millions of dollars that is being rolled out right now. The link is on the KMC platform for people to apply for it. We've all seen the skills. Skill exercises, skill development exercises KMC is involved in. It's a lot. I mean, I used to say Talib's developmental project role in KMC is an open book. It's an open book for anyone to look at it and accept it or not accept it. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone can see a black and think it's white. I can look at Aliu and his black face, and I said it is my opinion that Aliu is a white person, and nobody can, well, that's me. Nobody can hold my neck for that. It's left to me. But whether Aliu is white or black is on Aliu's face. Yeah, I understand. He said something. The presidential election, the National Assembly election.
No.
No.
I have my pen. You see my pen? So I can know.
But I have made a lot of them right now.
Reform. I want to.
Okay.
But Talib did well when it comes to waste management. I mean, previously there are not trucks. Talib brought almost 30 trucks.
My friend.
He's challenging you to mention Talib Minke. I will challenge you.
Yes.
No. If I want to mention that here, it's gonna.
No, don't worry. Even 5 Sabana.
If Talib is somebody me go, people prefer him over Barrow. It's the last mayoral election. President Adam Barrow with his entire government machinery, a police, a PIU officer, a minister. In fact, he had to ask a sitting minister to step down and come and contest Talib because he knows very well. President Barrow is one of the most smartest politicians in that country. I can tell you that. What is happening today? President Barrow have seen it 5 years ago. He's done everything possible to stop it. He just couldn't stop it. The reason why he asked a sitting National Assembly, a sitting minister of a government to leave his ministerial portfolio to come and contest against just KMC. If you're a minister, you are a minister for the entire country. Every youth, minister of youth and sport, you are the minister of every youth for every sport activities. The president had to make you to leave that and just to come and contest for just KMC. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't only stop there. He went to your campaign grounds. He supported you financially. He called you on stage and said to his people, vote for this guy. He carved a coalition of political parties to endorse your candidate, the CAs, the NRPs, all of them, the APRCs, all of them did not have any candidate. They all came and support your candidate. He put money there Because he is very intelligent. He knows exactly, I need to stop this kid. If I don't stop him, he's going to be the reason why I'm going to be booted in office. But what happened? Talib went against him, his minister, his entire government machinery, and won him. And before he did that, he had 5 years in office. Do you think the people of KMC close their eyes and say, well, okay, we are going to vote for Talib just like that? No. And he contests against somebody, me and Uncle. He have been contesting against that position for long. This is not the first time he dealt with Bakari Baye. Bakari Baye knows Talib when it comes to the polls. Yeah, I understand. So it's clear what he did there. And let me say this, useful analytics on some of the things I do enjoy it. Eco in the presidential election and in National Assembly election, Minkake Akafalin. But we need to understand that elections does not start happening in Gambia in 2021. In 2026, let me not even talk about 2016 because if I follow coalition. In 2011, what happened there? Yaya Jammeh won about 70-something% of the polls. What happened when it comes to National Assembly elections? He won literally about 90%. In 2006,
because UDP boycotted the election.
And listen, UDP boycotted 2006.
UDP boycotted election. That was what happened.
No. UDP boycotted 2006.
Yes,
they did not
2011.
No, listen.
Who was the MP?
They did not boycott every National Assembly elections. They did not. They boycotted 2006, but 2011 they were there. Okay, forget about that. Let's look at 2016. When Barrow won, what happened in the subsequent National Assembly elections? How many seats did Adam Yahya Jammeh got? Very few. So if somebody is able to, in the history of the Gambia, any person who have won in presidential election have subsequently did very well and won by far in terms of seat in the National Assembly elections. The only candidate who won in presidential election in huge number and drastically dropped is NPP. That is record. You understand? I do like one thing. For example, Ninko Namiro, I just openly say, oh, Taliban should have been. You say, oh no, you Taliban winner. But when I say numbers, when I say facts, I don't want you to say no, honey, one time, because you're not going after me. You're going something that is already in black and white. So just to conclude, I just want to say this, just to conclude, because we need to go, right? These elections is going to be an election where people will not vote for who have been there for long, or who is new, or who is young, or who is old. Gambians are not going to vote for that. Aliu, Gambians are going to vote based on cost of living. Gambians will vote based on how difficult it is to have a bag of rice. Gambians will vote based on how difficult it is to have electricity. Gambians will vote based on, yes, I have electricity, but I cannot use my TV because the voltage is low. Gambians will vote because the government is being an agent in sending them away in a turmoil country. Gambians will vote because both the president and the so-called opposition are busy throwing stones and not talking about issues. And Gambians will vote because they want their life and livelihood to be better. I think the survey have seen that. I think that would be very reflective in the election polls.
Wow. Thank you so much. Ngal mo fulol be tendukal jay baake ko nga fo nyameng. Next week le program o nyum fo be start la proper because Lamin Manneh join no because ali alon na political party kutole be lon kan Gambia bi so UDP ya tele kije so wala na man join no because ya sindi nyato la ka be diamul alfa non konole so unfortunately
but I'm proud of my boy.
So wala na man join no, but inshallah next week Lamin Manneh be join nale so that we have also United Democratic Party jang. We will have a political analyst fanang next week. Mi alon ko be join na barimbe tuba mare shoto la mi alon ko is a data scientist fanang bade fanang sorala. So of course Tunkara, thank you so much for joining. Abarka bake and content bake la kafola nyim program from the National People's Party. Thank you so much for joining. And of course Ibrahim Dampha abarka bake purka kafumola nyim program moto abarka bake for next week inshallah be murana nekoreke with the same people. Well, Ali, thank you so much. This is the first program of the class 2026 nyinem first program on yindi so I think it was a successful one, but next week because we'll have all our panelists on board, and then of course it will be inshallah new program programs ni alakidi dala.
Yeah, boy. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, especially Molmi Alnoko, wala ba jibe kang Facebook wala.
Ale mbuge moyde fela network wala mbama. Aliu. Oh my God. Ale mantre kang. I don't know whether it's your network or not, but mantre kang. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So next week, PM Gambian time, 6 p.m. Gambian time. Of course, in program moto jang 6 p.m. Gambian time. Abeka every Saturday le be United Saturday be UDP Saturday ani NPP be political analyst Saturday mi alon ka betara nyim program moto le, but next week fanang of course be tuba mari Saturday mi alon ko nying ñing sauve min be kera ababe franfansila molienne kol mi alon ko wole ba kono. So of course I'm Nadia amtala already abe taraja next week Saturday ding ala kititala. So ala kana don't miss out on this program. So every Saturday abe karakana itebe banko bankudo ebela time o jibela le Gambian time bekela program start la Gambian time wala watola 6 p.m. talan woro Gambia la time wala so itabe banko riba jibela 6 p.m. Gambia omo itabe banko in the time jumalti watole program ni ala kititala. So every Saturday le karakana ngara Ali Mol for Ali right now big ngamera is the connection maybe walatin ba fly ko thank you so much atelebe tar kelana co-hosting in program otoja program on betara both on the Gagigo News Network and also Think Point Podcast. Abetara nyindula fedole Think Point Podcast and in Gagigo News Network. Abetara live nyindula flol betole. Ngal tindu kal jay back. Be murana ale neni ala kidita ala sibitina ala barimbe karla na one-on-one interview dolu kilale milia lonko nga wole nati ale jang on the Gagigo News Network wolbe tenten nale nimmo jamal be interview so lale ande mbol nati lale. But this political class 2026 na every Saturday le ni ala kidita and on next week Saturday mbe murana lenne alkana nyina ka subscribe na nying YouTube channel oto jang. Okay, Aliu Murnane. All right. Aliu, yeah.
Yeah,
Namra network
I
voltare.
am flat out, you know. So yeah, fanya me like ala barka bake jibera ba dawada ani Gambia Banko kan Banko e Bandala. Program kudo la mial no ko na sambanang is going to be a joint podcast. And then o kamalamba mol sambal na mial no ko waneta bake yelondo soro bake ni ata subject matter la. So oba kela fendi mial no ko ba kela program interesting ene. So always come here on Saturday is the place to be 6 o'clock Gambian time. Yana nan Gagigo Media on all the platform. Ibajala ko isa kacha dimani isa enjoyno anda bakela fente bi annako apakela kacha kuma babal na tendo na aljay ala lo mal ko nyimala fo lokunala.
Barkabage, thank you so much. Wolem Aliu Jobti natele be karla nyim program o kelani ala kidita lambe karla nati la ne ko ngafo nyame murana le janne ka political deployed natiale 26 with all the major political parties milialonko wollebe Gambia Bangkok Kang, that is Unite, of course United Democratic Party and the National People's Party. Next Saturday talang woro Gambia watola Alben Sodola lembe kambe political analyst kilin natilale mialonko nabe kachala political Gambia Bangkok Kang. Watomba fulale ko alnalbadi male Gagigo aning Aliu Jo la barka.